When we converted lengths using metric steps, we counted the steps we took on the metric steps and moved the point the same number of places. With area, we have to move it twice as many places because area is centimetres squared, millimetres squared, etc. So in this example here, I've got 123.4 centimetres squared, 123.4 centimetres squared, and I want to change it to millimetres squared. From centimetres to millimetres is one step to the right, so from centimetres squared to millimetres squared is 2 steps to the right, twice as many. Fill in the gap with a 0. 12,340 millimetres squared is the same as 123.4 centimetres squared. You need a lot more millimetres squared than centimetres squared because 100 of them are needed to make a centimetre squared. 100 millimetres squared for 1 centimetre squared. In this example, we're going from millimetres squared back to centimetres squared. So from millimetres to centimetres, that's one step to the left. So because it's area, I'll be doing twice as many steps. So here's the number, 123.4. Move the decimal point back 2 places because it's area. 1.234 centimetres squared. 100 millimetres squared is 1 centimetre squared. So it makes sense to me that 123.4 millimetres squared is only just a bit above 1 centimetre squared. In this next example, I'm going to expect a big change in the number because I'm going from metre squared to kilometre squared. There's 1,000 metres in a kilometre, so 1,000 times 1,000 is a million. A million metres squared in a kilometre squared. So looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 has no decimal place, so it's not shown, so it's on the end. Now I need to move from metres squared to kilometres squared. If I go from metres to kilometres, it's 3 steps to the left. Because I'm squaring them, I need to move 6 steps to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the answer is 0.123456 kilometres squared. So when I've got 123,000 metres squared, I don't even have 1 kilometre squared. I've got less than 1 kilometre squared. That makes sense to me because a million square metres is 1 kilometre squared. When we're measuring area, there is a special unit that people use for house block sizes, and that's called hectares. Hectares come from hectometres, which is 100 metres. A hectometre is 100 metres. If you've got 100 metres squared, that's 100 metres by 100 metres, you've got 1 hectare. So when I'm changing from kilometres squared to hectares in this one, I need to think that I'm changing from kilometres squared to hectometres squared. So I'll write the number down, 12.34. If I'm changing from kilometres to hectometres, I need to go 1 step to the right. Because it's area, I double that, and I move 2 places, and so the answer is 1234 or 1,234 hectares. Now that's the same as 12.34 kilometres squared. There are 100 hectares in a square kilometre. In this last example, the change is going to be huge because we're talking about kilometres squared to centimetres squared, and a kilometre squared is a lot bigger than a centimetre squared, a lot bigger. So let's have a look at it again. Starting again, I've got 123.4 kilometres squared. If I go from kilometres to centimetres, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to the right. Because I'm squaring it, I need to move 10 steps to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put the decimal point in, fill in the gaps with zeros, and that's a huge number. Nobody in their right mind would normally use centimetres squared to measure something as big as 123 kilometres squared, but then again, that's how you can work it out. So what's that? This answer is over 1,000,000,000, or it's more than 1,000 billion centimetres squared.